Hey, fellow K-leggers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Garrison. Episode 32, Private Commode for a Humble Abode. Well, ship's a bit bigger. Let's go. So these Ryoka F1 floors I could probably ditch. I don't imagine I'm going to build more with the old school Ryoka style stuff anymore. I'll just use Mobile Light, because there's really no advantage to using the, oops, wrong thing. The Ryoka style stuff. It's just heavier. So unless you really love the aesthetics, it's not better in any way. Doors. We're looking for doors. So was there one near the airlock? No. Oh my god, this place is so blown apart. I don't think I see any doors. Like, at all. So it might be time, even though there are salvageable parts here, for me to push on to a new derelict. Because this doesn't have everything that I'm looking for anymore. Which seems fine. I do acknowledge I'm getting a little tired, but like not tired enough to have to turn in and call it quits for now. This was the high-functioning vessel. Yeah, doubt. This was the most blown up. I mean, it's big, but the most blown up piece of junk I've seen to date. High-functioning debris pile. Alright, bearing cross velocity is nearly 0. And then I'm gonna go there like at 70-ish, because there's plenty of auto repair tasks to be had here on the ship. So I have my hands full with like some basic maintenance. So here's the damage overlay, and as you can see, some of these corners I won't even be able to reach without my helmet on. But yeah, the parts I grabbed obviously were in pretty poor condition. But my my tools are still fine in terms of their power levels, so no problem there. Yeah, if you end up having any questions about the game, feel free to ask, and then if you need to really get my attention, there's a channel port redemption, ask a question about the game, which actually sends me like an audio cue, being like, hey, there's something to pay attention to. So pay attention, because God knows I can be inattentive. Some games are just very engrossing, this definitely being one of them. Oh, we're destroying the PDA. Okay, at this point, I think we need to exit the ship to restore everything else. We are 11 minutes away, so I'm going to slow down a little bit. Oh, God. Slow down too much. So now we're 26 minutes away, which... because I don't want to, like, crash with me floating out in space. That would be amusing. Death by repair. And I think we're done. Which means the ship should be at, like, 100% restoration. Which is awesome. And again, because I, updated our floor panels, our CO2 amount is much, much, much lower. That's one of the reasons why I haven't bothered with the scrubber, is I'm constantly opening, venting out the ship to space. So, like, who needs scrubbers when you're dumping all your gas? Alright, bringing it up to 100. And now we can long for better love life. Use about attractive women. Sure, why not? Do family and contacts. I wonder what kind of contacts he does on his social app. He's just imagining making friends or something? I don't really know. Get there sooner! Resolve all our cross velocity. Good enough. Bearings. Good enough. This will be a really easy docking. Do you think I will... So all I'm really... Well, you know what I should have done? Is I should have gotten more Mobilite walls, because if we're to enclose a bathroom, I'm going to need more walls. Because I think in the dolly I only have like 10. So, taking a look at the bathroom requirements. It needs to at least be a 4x4? No, it needs at least 4 cells. Got it. It doesn't need to be particularly large, in other words. Just a toilet and a sink, if I'm not mistaken. And I already have the toilet on my ship, so a sink is pretty common to find out in Salvage. So we should be able to get a bathroom going pretty quickly. You made a brick and named it Millennium Bastard. That's funny. I don't mind brick ships. I mean, like, we're in space. Unless you plan on going to Venus, like, aerodynamics wouldn't even be a consideration for ships that never enter atmo. Like, completely not necessary. Yeah, I'm coming. Alright, we have the OT344. Coming in hot. More furious, less fast? I swear, I've been on the ship before. You're dead. Looks safe enough. Now, I had mentioned wanting atmospherics, but I'm not going to bother with the pumps just yet. So there is a door here that I can repair and then take back. Oh, hi! Oh, well, I know how you met your doom. Or meet your doom. I should have just uninstalled the door, because, like, I don't really want to be on the ship to repair it. Where am I? Really? That's... You're standing... Okay. For real? I told him to, like, auto-repair, and he just stands there. It's like, you do know you're fighting the clock here, because there's, like, a wave of meat coming to eat the person that you are staring at. Oh, you got killed so hard your PDA popped out on the other side of the ship. Okie dokie. Well, sometimes it be like that. And obviously this is a Tetsudo, this is not a Mobilite ship, so there's very little reason for me to salvage anything here. I will poke around a little bit more when I can. So, you, friend, are going to be stripped, dragged, and so that you don't get eaten by the meat, jettisoned. Which honestly, I would say is like a mercy. And then this sink, as long as it doesn't have like meat in it, no, it has water, is going to be coming with me. Because our bathroom needs a sink and a door. Yeah. Scrap. There we go. Pick up the PDA. Pick up the door. Alright, before the meat overtakes everything, let's see if there's anything else of use. Not really? Looks pretty trash to me. Alright. Well, sorry, friendo, that we didn't investigate your death or whatever. But you did turn into a meat popsicle. Long may you live. Or whatever. I don't know, you're dead. Alright, let's try again. And then I'll get this door and some of the walls installed. If I have to go back to the ship I was at before, the YKXM for mobile light walls, we can do that. I just wanted to try my hand at novel. Because, of course, we're still looking for a heavy water tank, and I'm not going to find a heavy water tank on a ship I've already searched, obviously. Is it time to shut the quarters and make it open again? I have enough oxygen on me that, like, I don't really care that we get vacuumed or whatever. So I'm not too worried about that personally. All right, let's restore the door. Man, those are some good repair numbers. Times 40. You dislike the meat? You try to avoid starting that quest? Well, you can always just, like, bum rush it and complete it. I don't want to spoil anything, but I've done it before in my last series, which is why I'm not, like, making a huge effort of doing it again. Because it's, once you've done it once, you know, it's not super interesting thereafter. So the intention is to install a wall here, or a door there. Which means the walls here are going to be uninstalled. And then the N2 and O2 alarms will have to move as well. And Turtle, thank you for the cheer. Oh, he noticed. Alright, so we'll put N2... Into here. And I'm going to need to uninstall the bunk to gain access to where I need to be. Where'd the O2 alarm go? Alright, bunk, you gotta move. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we have the alarms. I'm gonna move the scrubber, it's kind of in the way. And let's swap bottles, I guess. Okay. Next up, the other walls that are in the way. And then these old walls, I could incorporate into the bathroom, I guess. I would like for it to be all mobile light style, but, you know, if it has to be these Roca walls just to get the job done, that's fine. I can always change it later. Let's see. If we're trying to tidy up those walls, put them in a dolly is smart. As far as I'm concerned, this is still traversable. Oh, no, it isn't? Oh, yeah, it's traversable. I don't know why we can't walk back. That seems really strange to me. Like, we can't... Yeah, it's one-way traversable? Did I just invent a new meta? Well, it's a problem that I'll aim to solve, maybe. We'll see. So we have 5 of those old Ryoka walls. I'll install 4 of them here. Just to save space. So hall, wall... Actually, what were they called? They are the B1s. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it's the bunks is in the way. How many of these... So I have 8 more. Got it. We're gonna need more. But, let's do mobile light walls. I'm also curious how far I am from... target. There's a bit of a weird wall mix, but this will be the bathroom. Pretty simple, straightforward bathroom. Oh, that explains that. Or that answers that, I should say. Okay, this was exactly the worry that I had. I can't get through there, so let's drop the dolly. I canceled one of the wall installations, and I'll have to move the bunk. Josh. So, as you can see over here, I throttled up, because we were coming in pretty hot. This is the CPLG. And yeah, the sensors and pumps I uninstalled remember what they were connected to, so I don't need to reset them up. For now, I'm going to uninstall the bunk. And I'll have to make accommodations for this room, obviously. Oh. Really? Really? So, I, like, tapped the thing we're boarding with, and apparently, I broke a whole bunch of walls. Alright, so we're gonna, scrap that wall. Scrap this one. And now we have a bunch of trash to throw out. Did my door survive? Yeah. So we need 1, 2, 3 walls at least. Got it. You know, I should have been... Okay, this is... Never mind. This is a micro junker. I was gonna say I should have, like, been concerned with whether there was, like, pirates on this ship or not. Because had there been pirates, I was not in any way, shape, or form trying to defend my ship right there. Interesting that this has a powered up... this ship would be... It's pressurized. It's micro, but it's pressurized. Interesting. Alright, what was it made out of? Pseudo? Okay. Let's leave. There was a... Actually, I'm going to take the cooler. And then we'll leave. Bye-bye, invisible star. Apparently undocking, I hit it somehow. Let's gamble and go way out here to some of these farther flung derelicts. Maybe I'll get lucky and find a heavy water tank. That's the dream. Didn't the bathroom need to be 4x4? No, it needs a total floor space of 4, as I believe that's how you you sort of assess its space requirements. So one of the reasons why we lost those walls is we had like a micro collision, but the walls I had just installed were in really bad shape, which is why they broke. It's one of the reasons why when you typically see me repair things, I will also restore it a little bit, because any micro collision will cause damage, and just a little bit of damage, but a little bit of damage if you just got it up to repaired and not restored means any damage will break it again and require more replacement parts to get it working. So that's this was a perfect example of why I usually, whenever I find something new, I restore it at least for like a few seconds, so that it isn't on the, right at the edge of getting busted again. I also don't like this one cell choke here. That's something that I would be looking to fix as well. But for that, we need more parts. Because of our micro collision, I'm just auto task restoring, because there was a lot of things that took a little damage. What's bad about a one-wide hallway? It's just really bad visibility. I know it seems like a weird reason, but I feel like it's just like bad ship design to have it that tight and untraversable. Or, I mean, it's traversable, but just I just don't like the aesthetics. Too claustrophobic, which is ironic given that we live on a ship in the middle of space. In a way, that's kind of the opposite of claustrophobic. I don't know. It's definitely a bit nerve-wracking to, like, imagine sitting on a boat at, like, Point Nemo on Earth, knowing that there isn't another human around you for, like, 100 miles or whatever. Further, I'm sure. It reminds me if you were on a boat at Point Nemo, you're quite possibly more separated from humanity than, like, the ISS astronauts. That's how far Point Nemo is in the Pacific to humanity. But the ISS is closer. Yeah, Point Nemo is essentially a point in the Pacific Ocean which is the furthest from society. It's the most isolated part of the world. Like, even more than Antarctica, which has full-time, full-season residents, right? I should explain these things before I use the terms. But yeah, that's would be the TLDR of Point Nemo. Yeah, at Point Nemo, the astronauts are the closest people to you at times? Yes. Where do you have to go? Where is Point Nemo? It's the South Pacific Ocean, 4852 south, 12323 west. It's over 2,688 kilometers from the nearest landmass. So it is 2,600 kilometers away from humanity, in other words. That is just... It also gives you a scope of how damn big the Pacific Ocean is. Because, my goodness, right? All right, one little micro collision, and it took all that time to put things back. All the more reason to... I like to... So, in my headcanon, if you're wondering, because I'm sure you've seen me, like, dock with other vessels at, like, high speed, but, like, in my headcanon, there is, like, automated docking protocols that kick in, which is why you can dock at, like, 200 meters out from a vessel, is the automated protocols essentially do the last whatever amount of feet for you without you having to do it yourself. Ooh, you know what? I just noticed my power reserve sucks. Uh-oh. There was something in the, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go here anyway, but, we might need to do something about our power reserve, because I'll probably need to grab batteries or make a hot run back to K-Leg. So, time to push it. Alright, so you think I might be hurt? I don't see any pain icons. I do on my arm. I could always do well, you know what the micro healing probably was? I had paid for micro healing, not knowing whether or not me getting shivved actually injured me, and it probably wore off. Do I still have the good old backup battery? I don't, no. I don't have like a reserve on Switch now. That would be a... same answer I just answered. Alright, I'll come in even hotter here. What I could do is I could power down things that don't need to be on to save me power. Like running around and powering off like battery chargers and things like that. I'm not worried about it enough to go to those kind of lengths though. One of the ones that do suck a lot of battery actually is antenna. So one of the things I could probably do... Here, let's actually see. So these batteries say I have 53 minutes left of charge. I'm going to uninstall one of my antenna and see what it says afterwards. Because I know, just from experience, antennas are super power hungry. Now it says I have an hour and 19 minutes of charge. Just uninstalling one of my antenna. So if you had to, like, quickly in a pinch... you know, uninstall something, that's a pretty good part to do. I have a lot of RCS through fuel, so if I have to fly back to K-Leg hot, like, that's fine. Getting my micro adjustments in now. Come on. There it goes. Proxy kicked off. The antenna is 5 kilowatts? Yes. Yeah, the antennas are expensive parts to leave on, for sure. I would, in order to be legally compliant, need to have at least one on at any given time, but 2 is like a redundancy that I can do without at the moment. I'll put it back, you know, once, especially if we end up with fusion. How funny would it be if I found like a heavy water tank right now and could get the fusion on? I don't think there's a lot of hopes for that, given the size of this ship, but who knows? We'll see. Going aboard. I could end up finding a another battery, though. That would be not entirely unhelpful. So this had a Hydra. These are one of like the passenger speed ships. Old heater. There is the transponder here. Let's see if I'm lucky. Nope, broke it. I found a shiv. I know what that feels like. And then for the interest of time, I'm just like whipping through this so that I can have battery power on the back to K-Leg. So there is a fusion here with a helium tank. And a broken laser array, core pump, ABL liners, cryo pump. Another liner. I don't see any batteries. And I think... Oh, we're also getting pretty hungry. So I'm just going to actually only haul the HE tank. I'm going to leave the rest for sake of time and survival. I should have been paying more attention to my power levels. So let's get back to K-Leg to power up. The Impossible Disco. Alright. K-Leg is basing us, sorta. Now I have my power reserve and the scary blinking. Got it. Throttle max. Pulling 1.8 Gs. And my ATA has to be shorter than my power left on my own ship. So let's bring this up to 500 meters per second and then get an accurate reading of our battery left. I also want to make sure that there is no physical obstructions. So I have an hour and 4 minutes left. I think we'll be fine. So after in a second, what I will do is I will I'll scope out the return path that I'm on and make sure that I'm not like gonna physically hit anything on my way there. All right, so tracking mode off. I won't hit anything for quite a while. So I'll check in again to make sure that I'm not, like, on a collision course. But it looks okay. So if I did have a fusion reactor and I wasn't using it for transfer burn, so basically fusion reactors do two things. Primarily, they provide an incredible amount of thrust to do transfer burns to orbital bodies. Basically, you can't really RCS from the orbit you're currently in to, like, let's say Venus. Because there's just not enough thrust to make that workable. So the fusion reactor allows you to travel to other orbital bodies, other places, essentially. A secondary function of it is to generate power. So if you're just using a fusion reactor to generate power, you almost never have to top up your tanks. Like, your tanks will retain, like, you'll be sipping fuel, essentially. Especially if you have very few laser arrays and very few pellet feeders. Basically, the idea is the more pellet feeders or laser arrays you add, the greater the thrust you can produce with your fusion reaction. So if you just want a fusion reactor that produces power, you limit it in terms of its hardware so that it does very little other than produce power, which is exactly how mine's set up. Where the hell am I? Oh. Hold on. We're coming in hot as hell! I'm glad I checked in. Alright, low. Let's line up. Slow down a little bit. I'm glad, like, my spidey sense was like, hey, you should see how close you are. Because I would have become a very, very smelly pancake. Going in for the docks with 12 kilowatt hours left. Oh, a little close. But, I'm not dead. My death count's still sitting at 0. Although I did safe scum the one time when the cops, like, slammed into me. That didn't kill me, and it was very survivable if I wanted to, but I didn't want to live with, like, having game glitches damage my ship. Which is why I safe scummed a way out of that. I probably need to check my permit? Yeah. I have so much money, I'll probably just end up buying, like, a week permit or something. Buy a longer length permit. Because, I don't want to be non-compliant. Because if you take a look at the nav station here, you can see if you're within license or not. So I am licensed. I just need to read the permit to figure out how long. So right now it's September the 1st at 1800. So my permit is good for another 23 hours. But now that I'm back here, it would also be not a bad time to, like, get some shut-eye. Because my character's tired. But yeah, look at the 18 bucks worth of power. And that's what I almost died over. One could easily make the argument, at this point, I should probably buy backup batteries, and, like, I completely don't necessarily disagree, but I like skin on my teeth surviving. There's something about it that's fun to me. Call me a junkie, if you will. Ooh, a hardened antenna. Those are sexy. I was looking at this list hoping to find a heavy water tank, not that I thought it would be likely. We do have 3 mobile light frameworks, though, that we could do, and one... Oh, I think I've been using the B2s. Well, I'm not going to buy those, so I'm going to send those to the zone. There is a reason for me to revisit the, sundries. Because I'm going to need lights for the bathroom at the very least, so let's get some lights. And then I'll probably get a little bit of sleep. I'm just looking at some of the other things that I could potentially buy. So we already have a toilet, we already have a sink. I don't really need that. I like how it's like sink with water, sink without water. The price differences. You know what? I have a better idea. Okay. Oh, wait. The hell am I dragging? Oh, I sent to barter zone. Fine, I will drag this. Freaking derp. Buy some good food? Sounds good. I don't have a fridge yet, though. So the idea was I could use an access hatch as a door to my bathroom. Because the 5 wide doesn't really work here, but a 1 wide would be fine. I would need more wall panels to make that work. But I think that's a good idea. Because, like, I'm the only one that's going to live on the ship, so I don't really care the size of the door that leads to it, right? I don't need, like, a giant luxury door. I don't, however, have the required walls yet. But, you know, I'll get that. So these access hatches are 1 wide. Their disadvantage is they open and close extraordinarily slow, so they're not good for airlocks. But I can leave it... Well, I can go through it with the access hatch that's fine, or I could just leave it open all the time, which is fine too. So if I put an access hatch here, we'll have a door to our bathroom, so it's physically separated, but like not path blocked. So if you right click these, you can hit open, and there we go. And I can walk to and from, no problem. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow K-Leg Salvagers.